She's ultra cost efficient, has powerful wide gaps, roof peaks, tight gap inner peaks of my own design, and a few secret tricks up her sleeve that will surprise more than one. She starts off as a 2x1 and builds up to a compact fortress fully equipped with all the necessary utilities to thrive and fend off the wildest online raids. In the recent videos, the Rust gods blessed us with our fair share of online raids, which identified weaknesses in the Sanctuary V1 that needed to be addressed. I have also discovered Mini Satori's disconnectable TCs, so I incorporated them into the design. The Sanctuary V2 is a reliable base without any gimmicks that I build and improve on every wipe. After hundreds of hours of thought process, I doubt it gets much better for a honeycomb 2x1 with shell and wide gaps. Everything has been carefully thought through to offer you the most defendability and comfort of living for the lowest price possible. Quick disclaimer though, this base is geared toward defending an online raid. In case of an offline, the cheapest way into TC is 30 rockets. Alright, now without further ado, I bring you the Sanctuary V2. Right off the bat, you'll notice that we still have the external modules, but this time they're attached to Mini Satori's disconnectable external TC design. There are 4 entrances to the compound. In here, you can easily fit at least 4 large furnaces and some turrets to defend them. In the shell, 2 turrets guard the chute entrances to the base. Once you have a turret up in here, it is nearly impossible for raiders to push up. This is where you'll have your main respawns, locker kits, and electricity room. Going down this way leads to the core. On the first floor, we have shot 7 box loot room, this new kind of suicide loot room I discovered watching Warrior, and a will jump triangle loot room. In your core, you're able to fit up to 3 sleeping bags, 6 large boxes, 2 barbecue and small box combos, along with your usual workbenches, research table, repair bench, and up to 6 small furnaces in the jump ups to take care of business in the early smelting stages. Now right above the locker floor, we have the top floor respawns, locker kits, and raid defense preparation boxes. This leads to the 2 independent and fully enclosed tight gap inner peaks. These tight gaps are very overpowered. First, they can't be laddered into. Since they're fully enclosed, even if the raiders have taken control of the shooting floor, you can actually still defend your shell and parts of your compound behind closed doors. And one of the strongest features of this design is that you can actually close all 4 of these double doors through the walls by your shooting floor respawns. With this, you can easily turn the tides of the raid by trapping and separating raiders to pick them off one by one. And if you were wondering, the answer is yes, you can shoot rockets and HEs through these gaps. And I bet you no one will expect this peak, which is the cheekiest of them all. The wide gap shooting floor wraps around the whole base and has a lot of mean angles. There are 4 roof peaks on each side of the base to defend against top downs. These are very safe because they're made with ramps, which means that if you die, your body will slide down to safety for you to loot to fight in the next life. Alright, let's build her up now. Start off by building a 2x1 with a single door frame. Keep the single door frame wood and upgrade the rest to stone. In this starter unit, you should be able to place the TC, 2 large boxes, a tier 1 workbench, 1 furnace, and up to 3 sleeping bags. Add a shelf to the main TC compartment like this. Now you have room for 2 more large boxes. If you place your double door opening towards the single door, it will create a first airlock. If you judge it necessary, add a triangle airlock. If B-Shields is in the neighborhood going deep on people, you probably want to upgrade it all to stone. However, if you can, try and keep the 2 single door frames and the triangle ceiling wood to make it easier on yourself to subside when we'll expand later on. You have now completed the starter unit. This could easily carry you all the way to tier 2, but you're only 3 doors to TC, so if you make some enemies, you're probably going to want to expand. First, honeycomb the core. Then build the first floor like so, with the jump up on the short side. Now expand to the locker floor like this. And place 2 double doors opening inward. You can now soft side the airlock door frames and the triangle ceiling in your core and close your jump up with a wall. In this square, we'll have Shot's 7-box loot room with a full honeycomb, the best loot room in the game. In this triangle, we'll create this new kind of suicide loot room that I discovered watching Warrior. This is as strong as a sheet metal wall, but the twist is that if the raiders destroy the vending machine, the loot is lost. This is a good place to store your sulfur, GP, and boom, because if the raiders break it, they won't be able to use your own boom to full raid you. This is how you build Shot's 7-box loot room. From watching Trowsy, I've learned that Twig has the same hitbox as Metal. Having the Twig double door frame allows you to perfectly place the boxes while saving some of those precious early Metal frags. This is how you build Warrior's suicide loot room. Place a vending machine like so. Notice that I aim at the center, then overlap half of the horizontal line to place the vending machine, then cover it with a single door frame. Add a repair bench and 2 small boxes. You can now use up to 6 furnaces to jump up to the first floor and locker floor. Next to your workbench, you can place a barbecue and small box. Moving one sleeping bag to the first floor will allow you to place a research table, 2 additional large boxes, and a barbecue and small box combo in your core. When you have ladders researched, build up the access to the chutes like this. Then build the access to the top floor. Place 2 double doors opening toward the chutes to create additional airlocks. Notice that you can close these doors through the wall from your main bedroom. This is a neat trick that is sure to surprise and could come in handy against early deepers that somehow made it up the chutes. Close the honeycomb with a single door frame and a wall. Line up the last bar of the ladder with the ceiling to place it perfectly. Now at this point, even if you've had a rough time and you're still only tier 1, you can place up to 3 beds and 3 lockers to help with PvP. We'll keep this triangle empty for a future electricity room. Congratulations, you have now completed your core. This is a very functional and defendable base that could carry you all the way through the wipe if you wanted to. Building up that much will make you stand out, so I hope that you have reached at least tier 2 at that point. However, just know that the compound only requires tier 1, so if you feel the need to throw down an early compound, this is how you do it. Start by placing the inner peaks external TCs. This time, I've made it even easier and cheaper. Build a triangle foundation of the short edge of your honeycomb 2x1. Then 8 squares. Demolish the first 7. Then build all the way back using triangles. Keep these 3 triangles and demolish the rest. Of the third triangle, build 6 squares, then 2 triangles. Build your TC compartment like this with the door facing away from the base. Mini Satori's design requires this wall is made of 2 half walls for stability purposes. Demolish the first 4 squares starting from the TC compartment, and upgrade the rest to stone. On this square, build your compound airlock like so. Single doors make it cheaper and funnel traffic in and out of the compound, making it easier to defend. You can now build these 4 ceiling frames. These are the disconnectable TC links. Now, if you get raided and lose your main TC, you can simply disconnect your externals with a twig roof like so. Thanks to Mini Satori, the Rust community won't have to break an external TC ever again. Reproduce the same on the opposite side of the base. Now we're going to place the wide gaps external TCs. Off the long side of the honeycomb 2x1, place a square foundation and upgrade it. Then place 3 squares and a triangle. Remove the squares. Build all the way back using triangles. Remove everything except the last triangle. Build 6 squares and 2 triangles. Build the same TC compartments and compound airlocks. Now, if you're going to close the compound, I'd advise you get the foundation footprint of your peaks first. Of the inner peaks TC arm, you're going to go triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle. It's important you do this before you build the wide gap foundation footprint, otherwise you're going to have a problem. Of the wide gap TC arm, you can now build 4 triangles off each side of the first square. Upgrade these and delete the unnecessary ones. Closing up the compound costs 16 walls, which is 24,000 wood, or only 7.2 stone nodes if you trade it for wood at outpost, which I find very reasonable even for a solo. Now this is pretty much as far as you can go with a tier 1, so from here on I'm going to assume that you have tier 2. Once you have garage door researched, craft 10. Place them in your TC compartment, both core jump ups, both first floor jump ups and loot room. You will need to pick these 4 boxes up and place the garage door opening outwards to complete your first floor shot 7 box loot room. Then place the remaining garage doors guarding the chutes and top floor jump up. These will replace most of your double sheet doors, which we're going to be reusing very soon. Once you have metal barricades researched, place 4 on top of your compound airlocks. These will make it more difficult for grubs to ladder up in the compound. Once you have metal window embrasures researched, craft 8 for the compound airlocks. Now let's build the peaks. Place a double door frame on both ends of the short side of the original 2x1. Close everything up with 3 levels of walls. Build 2 levels of double door frames to close up these gaps. These need to remain stone because it has the biggest hitbox. Up top, build the shooting floor airlock. I recommend placing garage doors here to help with the jump up over the beds. In here you can place up to 4 lockers, up to 3 beds, and some utility boxes for meds, ammo, rockets, grenades, seal kits, and any other raid defense utilities you can think of. Once you have a tier 3 in the core, it's usually a good idea to move your tier 2 in this triangle. Having supplies ready to craft meds and ammo here will be a huge lifesaver in many situations. Then build your inner peaks like this. Attach every ceiling up top to the core to close off the inner piece. Until you have your white gaps up, I'd recommend using vertical metal window embrasures here to offer some initial defendability against campers and such. But once you have the white gaps up, we'll switch them up for strengthened glass windows. Now let's build the roof access and roof peaks. First, we need to build the shell airlocks for stability purposes. Placing the single door frame on the right will block the way. Placing it on the left won't. One's more secure, the other one's more comfortable. The choice is yours. Above, place 2 levels of double door frames. Up top, you can now build your roof peaks like so. Now let's take care of the white gap peaks. Build 3 levels of double door frames of the white gap foundations. Complete the white gap up top. Now, you've probably all seen this classic wraparound wide gap, but now I raise you this. Cover every window frame with vertical metal embrasures. You can use the ones you had in the inner peaks since you'll be replacing them with strengthened glass windows now. I have never seen anyone do this yet, so I was not sure what to call it. What would you call it? Offset white peaks? Let me know what you think in the comments. Build double door frames in these two spots. This will give you the stability necessary to attach triangle roof frames to the wide gap ceilings to close off the roof gaps. Place a roof off each of these squares to complete your roof. Your roof compound and core are now fully defendable despite not having any turrets yet. So now the next step consists in wiring a ton of them. Build one windmill tower in the center of the base. Rotate the windmill 3 times to have it face you. In the locker bedroom triangle, place a large battery, a switch, ideally a smart switch if you have it researched, and up to 9 electrical branches. A large battery can actually power up to 9 turrets. This is where I'd recommend placing them. On the first floor, because this is where you'll have your most valuable loot. On your locker floor, to defend the chutes and your main respawns. On the top floor to defend your shooting floor respawns. 2 in the shells, these are probably the most important ones. 2 in the roof jump-ups for a surprise opener in case of a top-down raid. And 2 in your inner peaks for further security. Feel free to add more turrets in your compound to protect your large furnaces against Alone in Tokyo. Your roof is the perfect place for a heli garage and some drone shops. In this example, I'm adding 2, but you can do anything you want here. Congratulations, your base is now pretty much complete. But wait, there's more! When you have large furnaces, you can place them in the compound in these 4 spots. Oil refineries can fit in the peaks and help with jumps if you built in a scuffed spot. If you have the resources, you should definitely section the inner peaks as well. This is a great opportunity to use your leftover double sheet doors. You can also add fences to prevent raiders from easily boosting over the doors. When it comes to sectioning peaks, always prioritize the shooting floor because this is literally the first thing that raiders will try and take control of. When you can afford it, upgrade your core to HQM and the honeycomb to sheet metal. Always upgrade your electrical rooms to metal, because if the raiders get to it, your turrets will go offline and it's pretty much GG at that point. In the inner peaks, upgrade these foundations and walls around the turrets. Once these 4 triangle foundations are sheet metal, it will be pretty hard for offliners to subside into your piece. Add double door frames to the compound airlocks. They can be subsided and give you more cover on the sides when open. If you need more loot room, you can add a wool jump triangle loot room above this jump up. You can also place a ton of boxes in the shell. You should also remember to better protect your externals, because now they're half of your base. Upgrade the TC triangle compartment to sheet metal and add a reinforced metal window for added protection. Now, the reason why we have the doors facing this way on the externals is so you can add extra modules to the base. Remember that you can build these as early as you want. So if you have tier 2 but no compound yet, a large furnace base could save you a lot of unnecessary wood farming. When building, remember to place the furnace before the ceilings, otherwise you're gonna be like... Cars are becoming more and more important in Rust, so if you wanted to attach a garage, this is how you do it. You'll want to build at least a 2x3 to fit a car lift. You can also build a horse base. You could also build a drop box / flank base to help create a pinch on the raiders. Imagination is the limit, really. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I put a lot of effort into it, so if you learned anything today, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like. It does help a lot more than you think. If you have something to say, I'd love to read it. I heart and reply to every comment, so don't be shy. Let me know what you thought and how we should call these white gaps. Coming up, I've got a 2x2 version of this base, so make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you in the next one.